Welcome to the Bodybuilding Authority. Something a little different today. So we're in the final stages of the Mr. Olympia prep. It's peak week, and this is the one habit that saves Olympians from disaster on show night. So picture this. You are 3 days away from the biggest moment of your entire life. You've poured months on your soul into training. Your diet has been a masterclass in precision, and the sacrifices you've made are unimaginable. You look in the mirror and you see it. Perfection. Every single muscle fiber is screaming. Every line is etched deep. You're not just a person anymore. You're a living sculpture. But what if I told you that one slip up, one single meal could bring that entire masterpiece crashing down? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the fragile science of peak week and show you how a champion's dream can become a watery, bloated nightmare. And I've seen it many times over the years as a coach of a lot of high-level, national level, professional level bodybuilders. You know, this isn't about someone who slacked off for 16 weeks. This is about 1 hour, one decision that can erase everything you've done over the previous 16 weeks. We're talking about the bodybuilder who looks absolutely unbeatable on Wednesday, but by the time Saturday rolls around, they step on stage soft, flat, holding a layer of water that blurs away all their hard work. And we've seen this in the past, even at the Olympia level. They didn't just miss their peak, they actively sabotaged it. And what was the weapon of destruction? One glorious, delicious, and devastatingly ill-timed meal. A burger and fries, a couple of slices of pizza, a moment of release that cost them the title. How in the world does this happen? The answer is in the wild, misunderstood science of those final 72 hours before you step into the spotlight. To understand the disaster, you first have to appreciate the masterpiece it destroys. Peak week isn't about losing more fat or building more muscle. That job is done. The real goal is to create a look that is almost inhuman. That saran wrap look around those muscles. The muscles so full around that they look like they're gonna pop, with the skin so thin and dry that you can see every last striation and vein. You're walking a razor's edge every hour of the day. So how do you get there? It's all about playing with 3 key dials: carbs, water, and sodium. For weeks, you've been depleted. Your muscles are flat and screaming for glycogen. They just are. Peak week is when you finally get to feed them. Think of your muscle like a dry sponge. The goal is to carefully soak that sponge with just enough water to make it completely full and dense, but not so much that a single drop spills over. The science has to be exact, and it is a science. As you start adding carbs back in, your muscles suck them up and store them as glycogen. For every 1 gram of glycogen you store, your body pulls about 3 grams of water right into the muscle cell. That's what we want. It creates that full 3D look that blows judges away. When it goes right, all the water is inside the muscle, pushing it out against the skin. But when it goes wrong, that water gets trapped between the muscle and the skin, and we call that a spillover. And it's an absolute disaster. Let's imagine our competitor. We'll call him Alex. He's 3 days out and has followed his coach's plan perfectly. He's gone through carb depletion and is now starting his carb up with clean, measured food like white rice, potatoes. He's primed for victory. His muscles are filling out, his veins are like road maps, and he has 0 water under his skin. He is on his way to winning it all. But peak week is a war. It's not just physical. It's a battle inside your own head. It is more mental than physical. The physical part is done. After months of nothing but bland chicken and asparagus, your energy is on the floor and your mind starts playing tricks on you. Those food cravings become obsessions. The mental exhaustion is overwhelming. Alex is wiped out. He's in his hotel room so close to the finish line, but the hunger is roaring monster that he just can't ignore. And then temptation hits. Maybe his family, who doesn't understand the process, orders a pizza to the room. Maybe it's just the smell from the restaurant downstairs. And in that moment of weakness, he caves. He tells himself, what's one meal? I've worked hard. I've earned this. Worse even is when a coach tells them or encourages them to do that. It can be a disaster. Alex demolishes a big greasy burger and a pile of salty fries. For a few glorious minutes, it's pure heaven. But that feeling is immediately washed away by a cold, sickening wave of panic and guilt. He knows deep down he might have just made the biggest mistake of his career. Here's what Alex didn't stop to think about. He just detonated a metabolic bomb inside his perfectly balanced body. First up is the sodium. A single fast food meal can pack thousands of milligrams of sodium. During peak week, sodium intake is controlled down to the milligram. While cutting sodium out completely is a rookie mistake, flooding your system with it is a catastrophe. Your body's number one job is to stay balanced. So when it's hit with a tidal wave of salt, it freaks out and holds onto every drop of water it can to dilute it. But where does that water go? Not in the muscle. It gets trapped in the space right under the skin between the muscle and the skin. Think about that full sponge again. Now what happens if you pour a bucket of salt water on it? The sponge can't absorb anymore, so the water just pools all around it. That's exactly what's happening under Alex's skin right now. The sharp, deep cuts in his abs are starting to vanish. The veins in his arms are disappearing under a soft, puffy layer. But that's only the half of it. The other problem is the type of carbs. Alex's plan called for simple, clean carbs that his body could easily shuttle into the muscle. The burger bun, the fries, the sugary ketchup, that's a complex, fatty, high glycemic mess. His body, which is hypersensitive to insulin right now, tries to store all this energy, but his muscles are already getting full. This is where the spillover happens. The muscle's glycogen tanks are overflowing, and all that extra glucose and water has nowhere to go but into that subcutaneous space, joining the water already being held there by the salt bomb. The combination is devastating. He's now actively pulling water out of his muscles and storing it under the skin, which makes him look both flat and bloated at the same time. His masterpiece physique is deflating while his skin is puffing up. Panic sets in. Let me tell you, I've been awakened at 2 a.m. with this kind of a panic from athletes that I've been coaching. The next morning, Alex looks in the mirror and his heart just sinks. The champion he saw 24 hours ago is gone. In its place is a softer, watery reflection. He immediately jumps into damage control, but his panic leads him to make things even worse. And let me tell you, when you're in panic mode, you actually hold on to more water. First, he tries to sweat it all out with tons of cardio, hits the sauna, but all that does is crank up his stress hormone, cortisol, which can actually make him retain more water. As I mentioned, he's throwing gasoline onto the fire. Next, he makes one of the most dangerous moves in bodybuilding. He cuts his water completely out and pops a powerful diuretic. He's desperately trying to force the water out from under his skin. But your body is built for survival. When it senses this level of dehydration, it fights back by releasing anti-diuretic hormone, desperately clinging to every last drop of water. Plus, diuretics don't just pull water from under the skin, they can pull it straight out of the muscle. So his already struggling muscles get even flatter and smaller. On top of that, he's now risking severe cramps, passing out, or even life-threatening kidney and heart problems. This is for real. This is the exact dangerous recipe that has caused athletes to collapse, and some have even died on stage. He took a bad situation and turned it into an irreversible train wreck. He stopped trusting the process, tried to outsmart his own body, and lost big time. The moment of truth arrives. Alex steps on stage, but it's not the victory lap he dreamt of. The bright stage lights designed to highlight every single detail are now his worst enemy. They expose the smooth layer where chiseled abs should be. They show the lack of separation in his legs. His back, once a roadmap of detail, just looks soft and puffy. When he lines up next to the other competitors, the difference is gut-wrenching. They are full, hard, and dry. Their muscles are popping. He looks like a ghost of the man he was just a few days ago. The judge's eyes scan right past him. He's not even in the running. The dream is over. That one meal, that one moment of weakness cost him everything. The story of Alex is a powerful lesson that we can see play out at every level of bodybuilding, from local shows all the way up to the Olympia. It teaches us something absolutely critical. Peak week is a science of precision. It is not the time to guess, panic, or experiment. That one meal wasn't just a cheat. It was a trigger that started a chemical chain reaction that wiped out months of hard work. So what's the lesson for you? First, trust the process. A solid plan for any experienced coach is your roadmap to victory, so stick to it. Second, respect the science. I say this all the time. Trust the science. Now you know that huge, unplanned spikes in sodium and messy carbs will cause you to spill over. And finally, never ever resort to dangerous last-minute fixes like cutting all your water and using diuretics. They do more harm than good to your physique and to your health. A perfect peak is achieved by executing your plan with intelligence and consistency. The line between being a champion and just another face in the crown can be as thin as one bad meal. It's a tough reality of this sport, but knowing is half the battle. I want to hear from you. Have you ever had a cheat meal throw a wrench into your progress, or seen someone get their peak week wrong? Share your story in the comments below. And if you found this breakdown helpful in your own journey, make sure to subscribe for more deep dives into the science of building your ultimate physique. Check out the attached PDF file there. It is free of charge. Download it for you. It's great information on supplementation, a little bit of nutrition in there. There's more to come with regards to that. This is the Bodybuilding Authority signing off. Take care, guys.